What made you break up with the person you thought you'd marry? FBI knocking at my door to arrest him for being a pedophile and a kiddie porn salesman. No joke. So fucking happy he got busted before you two had children. Kinda hard when both of us have penises, lol. Plot twist. This thread really gave me the kick up the ass I needed to sort my mental health and finances out. I'm dating the most incredible man for 4 years, but I see now how my depression and lack of financial control is affecting us. I feel we are headed for a breakup, but if I get myself on track we might have a chance. She wanted to go to Florida for the Disney college program. She is a huge Disney nerd. She was too scared she would lose me. I convinced her to do it, because if she didn't, she would regret it forever, and that no matter what happened I would still be here for her. 6 months and an engagement ring later she told me that, while in Florida she realized she didn't love me like she thought she had. The ring is in a box in the back of a drawer in my dresser. Her worst fear came true. So did mine. She was in love with my best friend, and they were both in denial about it. They were engaged a month after we broke up. Edit. Answering questions. They both told me nothing physical happened, and I believe them, but they hung out a lot, which was pretty normal because we were all friends in high school, and I'm pretty sure they were already emotionally involved because she started to drift away emotionally. They were both nice about it and asked if I'd be okay. I said yes because they seemed like they would be happy together and I cared about them both. But I don't hang out with them all that much, because as nice as I try to be about it, I still feel betrayed. I still talk to my best friend every once in a while, but it doesn't ever really get any deeper than the "what are you up to these days" texts. He cheated and got another woman pregnant, then called me a few weeks later asking me to be the child's godmother because he knows I'm really good with kids. What the duck? Completely unable to manage money. Spent every dollar he came across on gaming and weed and constantly put off paying important bills. Would have dragged us both into bankruptcy if I would have stayed with him. I'm glad for you. Financial abuse is a real thing and will never end if you stay in a relationship with someone who doesn't manage their money at all so they can spend it on partying. I moved across the world for him. He kept telling me one day I want to propose. Or I can't wait for you to be my wife. That proposal never came, and I was having visa issues, so after a few years I gave up and moved back. Met my wife when she was here in the States on a J1 visa. I was only with her for about 4 months and knew she was the one. Her visa was expiring, and my mom told me put a ring on her finger. We have been married 3 years this November and have a 13-month-old son. I wasn't going to allow her to move back to Europe. Ironically, we moved to Europe for a year and came back to the States. We had been dating for 3 years, constantly talked about getting married and what our life will be like. He went back into the military and wouldn't commit to having a long distance relationship with me because it would be way too distracting when he's in the field and I pop up on his mind, and he didn't want to commit to a relationship while in the army. So we broke it off. The real kicker is that a couple months after being away in another state, he started dating a new girl who apparently lives in the same state as me. So, lol. I too got dumped a month ago by my ex-boyfriend, who is in the military, because he couldn't handle the distance. Turns out he may be getting back with his ex, who stays in another country altogether. So, lol. The relationship died. We had very different ideas of what life should be like. For example, he had said he'd break up with me if I didn't get a college education. He also gave me ultimatums, twice, about moving with him to a small town both times. At the second time, I'll let him carry out the ultimatum. Wow, no pressure whatsoever. I asked him what I meant to him, and he answered nothing. I'm so sorry, that's really cruel. She actually was quite the rude person and believed anyone who told her that acting this way is unacceptable as someone trying to control her. She would always deflect and couldn't just accept that people don't like blunt and rude ass people in general. Is there any chance that you were dating my ex? It's possible. She does get around. She was already married. We worked together at job you couldn't wear rings. She hid it very well. I was the other guy. Found out when I proposed and had to tell me she's married. Edit. We worked as military aircraft mechanics. We were together for about 9 months before I proposed. Bullet dodged. Any woman willing to do that to her own husband certainly would do it to you as well. Enjoy peace of mind, my friend. Every time we fought she would throw her engagement ring somewhere, make me get it, then make me plead with her to put it back on. Even for very small disagreements and even in public. That was the final straw. It was very ducked up feeling begging somebody to be with me all the time. It gave he huge insecurity issues. That was on top of the fact she began to call me names and hit me a lot. It all started after we got engaged for some reason. Things were so perfect, but as soon as she got that ring everything changed. Suddenly she what I mentioned along with calling me a loser, piece of shit, and ugly a lot. She turned into Gollum from LOTR after getting the ring. She ran away with her girlfriend. Ross, is that you? She liked sucking other men's pee-pee. She slept with my roommate and my other roommate and friends walked in on the mid-doggy. She cheated on me multiple times on her trip to Europe, which she is still on. I saw the Facebook messages on the computer where she was still logged in. Then she lied when I called her on it. This all happened about 4 hours ago. I'm at a bit of a loss. I was planning our engagement. I'm glad it happened now, I guess. Very rough though. Hang in there, buddy. It will get better. As we grew, his charm dissipated. When I was 18 over 19, he didn't have a job, so we could always be together. He was messy, but so was I. He played video games day, but it was fun. At 27, I was working full time and getting my BA. He was still jobless. I worked my ass off. He played video games. I cleaned the house. He didn't clean shit. I grew up. He didn't. I didn't want any kids and I wanted to be allowed to work. He wanted a housewife and a large family. I was willing to settle on a compromise. 2 kids and I still got to work. He left me for it because I wouldn't be exactly what he wanted. He married someone else later who did exactly what he wanted, and he was miserable with her and was attempting to take a mutual friend as his mistress. I dodged a bullet. When she became physically abusive and sexually inactive, mine was physically abusive, but sexually active for a while, and I stayed during that time. Yeah, well, technically she was sexually active, just not with me for some reason. I asked her to marry me, and she said no. It's been 7 months since then and now she's trying to get back with me saying she's made a mistake. Said I was the only voice of reason in her life, and she feels so lost without me. I don't even know how to feel about that. I don't wanna be anyone's savior.